Good afternoon, Rebecca here. Happy Tuesday, everyone. We've been on this series that I launched a couple of weeks ago called Alignment to You, and this is week 4 of our alignment series. We've been talking the last couple of weeks. Week 1 was all focused on recapping the reason that I've launched this series and the meaning behind it, as well as summarizing the direction. Week 2 talked about alignment to identity and really understanding your identity and who you are in order to live your best life. And week 3 focused on alignment to employing what I call a you first strategy and putting you first and really recalibrating and centering around who you were created to be. Today, we're going to talk about alignment to purpose. One of my favorite topics is around the issue of purpose and having purpose in life. Let's look at first the deep meaning of what the word purpose means. So the word purpose is defined as an abiding intention to achieve long-term goals that are both personally and meaningful in order to live a positive mark in the world and in your life. That is the summation of the definition of true purpose in life. And God's definition of purpose is captured in the heart of God around why you and I are on this earth and why He put us on this earth, and understanding and knowing the importance and the value that brings to society, and really anchoring your life in the character and in the call of having a meaning here on earth. And as believers, as Christians, and I know I said in the beginning I was going to focus this series on a very strong spiritual component of faith. It's so important to have that purpose-driven mindset. Rick Warren has a great book called Purpose Driven Life, and I've read it multiple times, and if you have not read it, I highly recommend. It's a really good read on how to really live your life with a center and focus on your purpose. And so I want to provide you with 3 fundamental truths as we walk this life out in purpose. And here are what I have found personally in my own journey as what I call the innate result of walking in purpose. We have 3 areas where we have the ability to really connect with purpose. Obviously in our daily life, with our family and relationships and the people we come in contact with. I put that in the category of relationships that are important to you and your family, your children, your grandchildren, your extended family, and really those you do life with, your husband, your partner. The second is in our daily career, what we do for a living, what we do to exercise our gifts and our talents in order to make a living, and what we do again to make money and to spend most of the majority of the 8 to 10 hour day, most of us Monday through Friday in our career. And then the third sort of innate outcome of purpose is centered around our walk and our spirituality, and how we stay connected in our walk with God, with the higher power, and with the sovereignty of all that brings in terms of relationship with our Creator. So there's what I call fundamental musts in life. And what I want to focus on today is what I call life outside of the fundamentals. So we've already talked the fundamental musts in life center around our career, our family, and our relationship with God. I want to talk more specifically around what we do outside of those 3 fundamentals and how we connect to our impact. We're talking today about purpose, and I'd like to share with you connecting to your impact in that purpose. So for me, there are what I call, the significance of who I am, the significance of where I walk and where I journey. And there are 3 particular things that I focus on when I think about purpose, and it gets me outside of my own sort of selfish ambitions and ways. Number one, in my walk, number one, in finding out what the true significance of my own life here is on earth. Why am I here? Why do I live? Why was I born? Why have I had so much tremendous healing and restoration? Why have I existed? And what is my time here on earth? And number two, the reward of serving and being what I call others focused. The reward in life is we go about our walk in our life with that daily impact. And for my own life and journey, feeling like I am making a difference, and that deep satisfaction that comes from those that I'm impacting around me and those relationships that I've had the chance to really leave an imprint on. And then the third is just getting outside of my own needs, my own wants, and my own desires, and really looking about being others focused. So next week I will be talking about alignment to live and love others focused, and I'll be talking a little bit more about that next week, but I wanted to touch on it and introduce it this week. So there are three negative results. I call them outcomes, and they're outputs of when we don't have purpose, the kinds of things that we are impacted by when we are wandering life and don't have purpose. Number one, the three negative outcomes are we tend to live on what I call a roller coaster life journey, where we're up and we're down, we're unhappy and we're happy, we're engaged, we're not engaged in life. And we just have this, what I call a bipolar emotional roller coaster outcome in life when we don't have purpose. I saw my own mother, and I've seen my own family, as well as those loved ones that are near and dear to my heart, live in that situation. And I've personally been in that situation before. And I'm not talking about seasons that you go through where you have this roller coaster of a life that you're involved in, or chaos, because sometimes it happens and life happens. But I'm talking about living a consistent up and down roller coaster in life where there really is no happiness in your life. Number two, we wander. We tend to wander. This is a negative outcome. Again, a negative outcome of not having purpose is we tend to wander in our life. And we wander. We don't feel connected. We don't feel inspired. We just wake up every morning and we're in the mundane and just getting, our life done as usual with really no real meaning in how we feel and how we're engaged, and no sense of direction that puts us on that lost, wandering type environment. And even others around us, tend to say, are you okay? What's going on with you? You've been a little bit off your game lately. We get on this wandering path, and it's very difficult for us when we don't know exactly what we're on this earth to do and what our purpose is. And number three, that studies have shown, and the research actually behind living engaged and happy tend to show that when you do have purpose and you have that stake in the ground and you know what you're to do in your life, you do tend to live longer, healthier, more vibrant life. You have healthy body, healthy mind, healthy spirit, healthy relationships, and you do tend to live more what I call holistic, healthy life when you have purpose. So those are the three what I call negative outcomes of purpose. John F. Kennedy, who I like to study, and there's a lot of great history documentaries on him. He said something that resonates very deeply with me, and that is, he said that efforts and courage are not enough in life without the purpose and the clear direction in your life. And we recognize that we can try and feel like we're making a bunch of effort for very little return, but at the end of the day, we have to stop and evaluate what is that purpose and what is that clear direction in our life. There's a tool online that I like to use. It's found on www.personalexcellence.com. And that particular site will give you some really good blogs and tools and information about how to really hone in and ensure that you're living life with purpose. and there's also good research on that website. They actually give you 5 reasons on this website, along with a lot of research and content that I would recommend you go back and read and absorb. 5 reasons why you should find and have purpose in life. These are simple, but they're powerful truths about why purpose matters. Number 1, life purpose is the starting point in life. It's where you start, and you know that you are engaged and that you are here for a reason. Number 2, clarity on what your role is and that purpose is so important, and having that clarity in your mind. Number 3, living a life of meaning and ensuring that you're not just getting up and going to bed, getting up and going to bed, and going on this cycle of just not feeling engaged in life. Number 4, ensuring that there's a constant drive and passion for pursuing your purpose and making sure that you keep your pulse on that, regardless of what hits and what happens in life. Number 4, that drive and passion. Number 5, we know that purpose enables us to achieve great success and enables us to be successful in life. And without that purpose, we don't feel like we've accomplished much. And oftentimes we go through these seasons that are necessary, but you shouldn't live in a season of lack of clarity. We should live in a season of distinct purpose and understanding purpose. So for me, I have defined my purpose in life into 4 simple categories, just to help you from what I've done in my own life. This helps me. I tend to be a person that likes to compartmentalize things and make sure that I evaluate where I am in every sphere of my own journey in life as it relates to connecting with my purpose. So I've put my own ways and methods here. I'd like to share them with you. Number 1, my first category is my purpose in serving God and walking with God and ensuring that I'm embracing all that He has for me, not in a religious way, not in a check the box way, but in an intimate relationship with my Creator, and making sure that I'm hearing and I'm seeing and I'm discerning and then I'm connecting. And then the second category of my life purpose revolves around that unconditional, unrelenting love to serve my family, my kids, my husband, those that God has put in my own path, and making sure that I'm understanding where I can and how I need to serve them. Category 3 is living and adopting what I call a disciplined life to pay it forward, to have that give back. And next week I'll be talking about living a life in alignment with being others focused. That's a huge part of my DNA. It's a huge part of our family's DNA, and we call the give back and the paying it forward, because we've been given so much in life. And I find even when I'm tired and even when I'm worn out, I find a lot of energy and a lot of joy in serving others. And I have a signature initiative that I launched last year called Girls of Legacy, and we're launching the 2nd year of Girls of Legacy this year, where we're scholarshiping inner city girls to go to college and pursue other forms of education. And if you want to learn more about Girls of Legacy, you can find the information on RebeccaContreras.com/Girls of Legacy. And so for me, that is my pay it forward through our work in the inner city and through being able to serve and to love people. Even when I am off my game, I try to make sure that I recalibrate and recenter and understand that my purpose here on earth is not just to be an entrepreneur, or not just to be successful, or not just to be a mom, or not just to be a grandmother or a wife, but also to ensure that I am keeping my pulse on paying it forward and serving in the community. So maybe there's an area of your life where you can serve, maybe with your local church. I found a lot of reward in serving in our local church, or maybe it's at a food kitchen. Maybe it's, being able to identify that young woman or young man that you need to mentor, to just invest in, but pay it forward. And then the last category, in category 4 of my purpose, is found in my entrepreneur, my company, and my business, what I do for a living. And I find a lot of reward and purpose in ensuring that I am thriving, that I'm growing, that I'm keeping my pulse on loving our people. We have a signature initiative here at Avant-Garde, where we put a lot of love and care into our people and ensure that we're helping them be successful in their career. And they're not only doing work for me, but they're thriving in their own career. And we do have, those times where perhaps the fit is not quite there and someone needs to go do something else, and we make sure that we put a lot of support around ensuring that they do that something else successfully. And so those are the 4 categories that I kind of have my purpose and my impact centered around. And it doesn't mean that, it's always in alignment. It doesn't mean that I'm always, going on for, massive cylinders on all 4 categories, but I keep my pulse on category 1, my purpose and my passion for God. Category 2, my relentless, unconditional love for my family. Category 3, living a disciplined life of paying it forward in the community. And category 4, in my business as an entrepreneur and in my career. So those are the 4 sort of things that I have believed and invested in ensuring that there's alignment in my purpose and what I'm doing in everyday life. I would recommend that you go through an assessment of evaluating your purpose. I do it on a regular basis, on an annual basis. I look at, where am I today? Am I engaged? Do I feel like I am thriving? Do I feel joy and happiness in what I'm doing? And if I don't, then recalibrate and make those shifts forward. So the way that I do it is, as a way of next steps, is really, again, evaluate your purpose and sit down and write it down. Write your journal down. Come up with your own categories. I gave you my 4, maybe there are different categories for you, but evaluate where you are, and then also be willing to pivot and make that change and shift. Sometimes dramatically needed, but be willing to make those tough decisions and pivot so that you can then understand that you can get an alignment in that pivot with your purpose. Write it down and then embrace the change that comes. Talk to someone, a mentor, a leader, a pastor, your partner, whoever you're doing life with. Run the ideas by them and let them kind of be a sounding board for you. It's so important to have a healthy sounding board. And then work it out and commit to it. Once you have your categories and specifically what you're focused on and your own purpose, then commit to it and stay the course. It's so important to stay the course. And then do what I call an interim process of evaluation, where every 3 months, every 4 months, every 6 months, whatever your comfort level is, you are continually evaluating those categories of purpose, and you're keeping yourself accountable to stay true to that. Listen, life is too short, friends, to wander and to not be happy and to not feel engaged. So let's get in line with our purpose. Let's pivot where we need to pivot and live our best life. So join me next Tuesday. We'll be talking about alignment to live and love others focused, and what it means to live and love others focused. So I hope you've enjoyed the series. If you missed the first 3 weeks, they are on my website. You can watch them at RebeccaContreras.com, and I hope you have a great rest of week. So align to purpose. That's the theme of today's alignment series. Have a good week.